Feel lock down the street, alright, so we chop it, so we do it. Lock down and we a lock down the street, so we chop it, so we do it. This the one you come feel lock down the street. All I'm full of, we go play back again. And everybody say, yeah, 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 yeah. All I'm full of, we go play back again. See them tackle up the big tune. All I'm full of, we go play back again. And everybody say, yeah, 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 yeah. All I'm full of, we go play back again. See them tackle up the big tune. All I'm full of, we go play back again. And everybody say, yeah, 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 yeah. All I'm full of, we go play back again.
There are literally dozens of patents dealing with ways of beaming sonic transmissions directly into people's minds. This was once called telepathy. Today it's just modern day technology and advertising. Yes, I understand this sounds absolutely bizarre. Where's the proof? Where is it? We've recently seen Al Gore and Prince Charles appear in holographic form. But do we actually know of any such encounter we can attribute holographic technology as to having been used as part of a supernatural psyop? I believe we do.
Okay. I just want to break this down to you. Just new information, another pieces to the puzzle. Mind blowing. At this time, it's like, what if? I'm going to take you. Shout out to Robert DeSano, who gave me something to think about during that days. I think the rabbit hole gets even deeper, folks. We know this place is an enclosed system with a sky dome above us. And, what I'm saying is that these telescopes, maybe they aren't really telescopes. And I think how they get us is because we don't really go there for ourselves. And maybe when we do, if some of us do go there, it can easily be sold to us something else. Or maybe it has a buy use for them. But I think it's to project using some type of laser, like a planetarium. I mean, how do you think planetariums get the idea that people build planetariums? Because, we could be living in some type of planetarium. It's a strong possibility. It makes more sense. But there's also that, what I'm saying is that there are powers to be that these people for a very long time have been faking our reality, and they go to any length to do so, like space, faking space with projections. Okay, so maybe these telescopes, they're not telescopes, and they triangulate projections onto the sky dome to make an illusion of space.
They playing that just because I want to get this shit ingrained in your mind so you can understand what the fuck it is that's going on. So you can really understand what the fuck is going on here. They are using these telescopes to project fucking the images they've told us for decades. I don't care how old you are. You could be 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years fucking old. If you've been told and you have in textbooks, this is what the shit looks like. This is what we envisioned for it to look like. Okay? This is what we envisioned for it to look like. You got that shit in your mind throughout your whole life.
Stars or whatever. I think this is very important information because our mind had been hijacked a long time ago. They took years and years off of learning this stuff because we were on a spinning ball in outer space. And I think reality is not what they say it is. Well, matter of fact, I know reality is not what they say it is. But I think we got a position where it's like Wizard of Oz, the man behind the curtain. We look back and You know, there's somebody behind that damn curtain. Real life Truman shit, man. Is that at nighttime they're putting projections onto the dome to make an illusion. So if you look up, if you see, even if you're with your own eyes, what you're seeing is projection, not really real. Like this picture right here. I mean, you know, I've never seen it with my own eyes, but I know when I see it, I'm like, oh wow, it's the Rift, it's the Milky Way or whatever, it's the space. But I've never seen that with my own eyes. And I'm not saying that it's not there. But what if this for a long time, someone's been playing that reel over and over and they change it every once in a while because if you go outside right now at nighttime, you're not going to see this. You're going to see something different. So, you know, I think this is big. I think it also uncovers our reality and gives play to the hologram universe. Things. It's not only that it's electromagnetic, it's a hologram universe. So I'm thinking that we need to have an open mind and to be able to look at this stuff and use our own discernment, but really look at it, question it. We know all these photos and things are CGI. It's fake. There are no photos of space. I mean, think about it. When we even send those high altitude balloon footage photos with the that goes all the way up, it looks like the sun is like a spotlight, but it's completely black, pitch black, pitch black. And I think these people have been fucking with us. Matter of fact, I know these people have been fucking with us for a very long time. There's a company in Japan that actually projects. They have this technology where they can project stuff into the sky. You know, that's how we know it's a dome. Back in the 60s and 70s, they wasn't bouncing radar signals off of thin air. They were bouncing them off the dome. I can tell you that. Sky's the limit. Take a look at this.
That's projected into a dome. Walked into the Hayden Planetarium and I saw the sky in that theater and I absolutely fell in love.
I wanted to become a scientist because of the planetarium. This is where I started.
I'm an astrophysicist today because of a first encounter with a planetarium.
The classic way people mostly think about planetariums is this gorgeous nighttime sky that's projected into a dome.
That's not what it always was. You go back 100, 200, 300 years ago, the word planetarium represented any device that showed you what the planets did.
The planetarium has a long history that goes back to antiquity. In the Middle Ages, we start having astronomical clocks in cathedrals.
And in that model of the universe.
Now check this now. Check this bullshit out. Now we all know about flat Earth. We all know that we are the center of the universe. We all know that everything revolves around us. So think about it. If the dome is actually revolving, you could just actually project something on there and it could just be going. I'm just saying. But these idiots are going to try to tell us about ancient technology, like the ancients, they were stupid. And they thought that, Earth was the center of the universe. And they had clocks like this and blah, 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 blah. And these clocks, they're just antiques and they're meaningless. Check it out.
The Earth is at the center. And so the proper way to visualize that is with an armillary.
And what you see is that devices that were previously used to simulate and recreate the planetary motions according to the old Earth-centered astronomy, these gradually morph into devices that show you the motions of the planet around the sun.
You have these things called orreries. You turn it, and the planets move around the sun-centric model.
A properly built orrery will show you the planetary motions at their correct orbital rates.
I firmly believe that all of these devices, they're intended to model the universe on one hand, but on the other hand, they're displays of the latest, greatest tech.
It would take until the 1920s for somebody to figure out that there's another way to show what the planets are doing. Why not have a planetarium be a thing that represents not only the solar system, but all of what we might know in the universe? How about all the stars of the night sky? The 1920s, quantum physics is discovered. The expanding universe is discovered by Edwin Hubble. A watershed decade in science in general, but especially for planetariums. The Carl Zeiss Company invents a mechanical optical projector, and it transformed the field. This is something that puts stars completely on a dome that surrounds you.
You have essentially a bright light in the middle of a sphere. The sphere has lenses to focus star plates. It divides the sky up into patches. The planets, because they move back and forth across the sky, had to be independently controlled with their own motors.
It was most people's first introduction to what's actually going on in the night sky. As well known as the Hayden Planetarium is here in New York City, it was not the first planetarium in the country.
The Adler Planetarium was the first American planetarium.
And of course, that was equipped with the new mechanical optical projector that had just been invented a few years earlier. A New York financier, Charles Hayden, was visiting Chicago. He saw that first planetarium.
Charles Hayden grew up in Boston. He went to public schools. He went to MIT. Started his financial career in Boston and then moved down to New York City. He was walking through the American Museum of Natural History one day when he came upon a man who was working on a set of plans. Mr. Hayden asked what he was working on, and the man said, a new planetarium. He was told that the planetarium could not open without a new star projector.
Because it turned out that the New Deal programs weren't willing to fund the Zeiss projector because it was foreign made. But fortunately, Hayden had seen the Adler Planetarium the previous summer,
and he was moved, not only intellectually, but even spiritually.
Mr. Hayden said, how much do you need? The man told him, and Mr. Hayden said, you got it.
Hayden said, I want one of those in my hometown. It's important not only as an educational tool, but as something to have us appreciate sort of the majesty of this universe in which we live.
And there was the beginning of the Hayden Planetarium.
In the year 1957, man reached beyond the surface confines of his own planet for the first time in all history.
When Sputnik was launched in '57, America got an inferiority complex, an education inferiority complex. We needed to catch up.
This really catapulted us into the space age, and the planetarium was a place to flock to understand our place in space.
And space was the new frontier. Space is the place where science will take us.
So that all throughout the 1950s and the 1960s, attendance figures grew every year to record levels.
This put huge pressure on planetariums to keep up over those decades.
The story of the 1980s and 90s was innovation in computer graphics growing by leaps and bounds.
And that became the turning point. So now we could model anything. We didn't have to just be going round and round racetrack or just spheres within spheres within spheres. We could go really into the deep universe.
The Hayden Planetarium, as a Millennium Project, looked at what the planetarium of the 21st century might be.
The digital projector has opened up all of modern astrophysics to the public.
For the first time...
Now, these psychopaths are trying to tell you that this is new technology, and they've been doing this. What I'm telling you is that is that the ancients have been possibly been doing this the same way. You know, with the lights coming from the pyramids. You know, I mean, to count that out, it would be foolish in what we know now, and what we know and how advanced the ancients, were. So,
able to go from the view looking out to going into sky.
To lift off the earth and fly among the stars is what most kids want to do. And we can tell kids the stories of the stars, and all of a sudden now you're teaching them about...
This is all CGI. Everything you're seeing now is CGI. What kids want to know is the truth. Is what's really going on. Real science, real maths, the real physics. Not this bullshit, evil, satanic nonsense that don't mean nonsense. Okay? That's what they want.
Physics, you're teaching them about math. You're teaching them about the fundamental laws of the universe.
So now you have the power of computing and the fact that we are now obtaining data on the universe in digital format, not only through earthbound and spaceborne telescopes, but also from space probes themselves that are actually visiting planets.
That demands three-dimensional visualization tools.
You have to see it. That's why we take students in the field. And this is the field for planets, right? I can't take a student to Mars,
Right,
but I can take them here.
Right,
and we
because
can...
you can't exist. You can't take them out on a class trip and see this and experience in nature. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that you can't see stuff when you go out there, because you actually can. But what if what you're actually seeing is not fucking real? It's coming from a light source of some sort. I'm just saying. Not saying it is. I'm just saying we have to question everything, right?
Go through a canyon on Mars and think about, wow, those layers in that canyon are 10 meters tall. That feeling of absolute giving yourself over to the wonder of being on another planetary body is only something that can happen when you're immersed in this room.
We are flying through data in a way that no astronomer back 100, 200, 300 years could have ever imagined.
Yeah.
So it's no longer coming to the planet.
Because it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. You got these guys right here peddling this shit, okay? This nonsense. This heliocentrism nonsense.
See, I wonder what the sky is going to look like tonight. It's coming to the planetarium and saying, where are you going to take me on this next voyage?
Now, here is a motion picture film. 1,000 feet, 16,000 separate photographs. Let's tidy up this tangle of film by putting it on a reel. Now we'll build a projection machine to show the pictures on a screen. The film unwinds from the reel and rewinds onto another reel after it runs through the projector. To throw the picture on the screen, there is a bright light with a reflector behind it to send the light rays in the right direction and a lens to concentrate the light. The film passes a hole or aperture which lets the light go through only one picture at a time. There is another lens to focus the pictures on the screen. By adjusting the lenses, the picture can be made sharp and clear. Let's start the machine moving. The still pictures blur because they're moving all the time. This won't do it all. We need something to hold each picture still long enough for us to look at it in between the changes. When the film is started and stopped in rapid succession, the eye sees the changes being made, and the result is streaks instead of movies. So we need a shutter to cut off the light while every change of picture is being made, and let light through only while the film is standing still. Surprising as it seems, you never see a motion picture while it is actually moving. The only time a movie moves is when the shutter keeps you from seeing the change of picture. Then we see it just the way it looks in real life. Now we have the important parts of a projector for showing motion pictures on the screen. But let's change that drawing to an actual machine at work. This reel holds the supply of motion picture film, which passes through the projector at a speed of 90 feet each minute. Slots on this aperture plate guide the film past the narrow beam of light so that only one picture can be seen at a time. The adjustable lens, which gives us a clear, sharp picture on the screen, is placed in the path of the light rays after they pass through the film. Sprockets, which guide the film as well as start it and stop it, are placed in position to hold the film in proper position at all times. The shutter is placed behind the film to cut off the light at intervals while the pictures change.
Yes. Check out this article. Yes. Hey, let's check out this article. You ready? This article was in April 2016. Giant lasers are so powerful they can create artificial star. Chilean instrument can cut through an atmosphere to give astronomers a clear view. An instrument that can cut through an atmosphere to give astronomers a clear view. 4 LGSF procedures, 4 22-watt laser beams which are each about a foot wide. Beams are shined into the sky, causing sodium atoms in this atmosphere to glow. This helps the telescopes obtain sharper images in Earth's blurred atmosphere. It is now a crucial part of very large telescope adaptive optics system. Excuse me. The new system creates the most powerful laser guide stars ever used and makes up a crucial component of the European Southern Observatory Very Large Telescope. Guide stars help telescopes see through the blurring caused by Earth's atmosphere and the revolutionary and the revolutionary use of multiple beams aims to improve image quality over a larger field of view. Four powerful laser beams cut through the sky above the Paranal Observatory in Chile on Tuesday, forming massive artificial stars that will light the way for astronomical research. The new system creates the most powerful laser guide stars ever used and makes up a crucial component of the ESO's Very Large Telescope. Painting your reality. Yes, we read that. And that's what it is. Some big laser beam projector. Just projecting. So the way they're able to get away with this is that they know that there is a dome. There's something solid in the background. They know this. They know that a lot of people are not aware that there's a dome. Sky's the limit. The sky dome above us. So they can bounce lights and signals. They've been doing it for a long time. Fabrier laser pumps, Raman amplifiers, which are based in ESO's lights and patent, were provided by MPBS of Canada. MPBS is proud to have worked with the ESO in the development of Raman Fabrier, hope I'm saying it right, amplifiers to much higher powers, allowing MPBC to bring this technology to the stars, said Jane Bachniski, president of MPB Communications Incorporated. This even marks the accumulation of many years of hard work on behalf of all involved. The amount of power, the amount of energy these things are using, unbelievable. And, you know, these are your projectors. These are your projectors.
When you hear the word observatory, that means that's a place you go, where you can go, where they're watching something. Okay? They're watching something. Now, let's go to the website. This is the VLT. Okay? They say they got a new subsystem of adaptive optics facility at the Very Large Telescope, right? Now, if you heard my videos from 4 years ago, you'll know that this new adaptive optics device that they have is designed to shoot a fucking laser. Now, here's what they say. I'm glad I found this son of a bitch too. Here's what they say. They say that 4LGSF complements the laser guide star facility. Instead of one laser, the 4LGSF sends 4 laser beams into the skies to produce 4 artificial stars by exciting sodium atoms located in the atmosphere at an altitude of 90 kilometers. Now, for everyone who heard my videos 4 years ago, that's no fucking surprise to you. It's just a repeat. But for those who didn't, remember where they talked about where fucking space was? The imaginary Kármán line is at 100 kilometers. That's where fucking space begins. The DOD says it's 50 kilometers, right? Kármán line's at 100. Actually, no, 50 miles. I'm sorry, 50 miles. Each delivers a 22-watt power and about 4,000 times the maximum allowed for a laser pointer, and in a beam with a diameter of 30 centimeters. Okay? So get this. For those of you who may know a little bit or interested in lasers, you got 22 watts of power, 4,000 times the maximum allowed for a laser pointer. You fire that fucker up in the sky. Now, depending on the power of the laser, shit, you may go real far to where you can still see that son of a bitch. You can see what it's actually focused on, because it might have hit something that'll project the reflection off of it, right? So here you are, these guys are not even firing this thing at the Kármán line. They're saying there's a layer of sodium atoms at 90 kilometers. They didn't say approximate, they said located in the atmosphere at an altitude of 90 kilometers. They know, not believe, they know for a fact that there's a fucking layer of sodium atoms at 90 fucking kilometers. And it's probably so fucking dense, it's dense enough to where they can fire a 22-watt laser up into the fucking nighttime sky and heat those fucking sodium atoms up to literally give themselves a fixed frame of reference so they can start mapping the rest of the sky.
Hopefully I can paint this picture right and bring this information to you the best way I can. Shout out to Robert Pisano from Planete Vertas. I'll put the link in the description. He planted a seed. We know our reality is not what they say it is. Definitely not what they say it is. We know we don't live on a spinning ball in outer space. I know is our cosmology has been hidden from us on purpose. There's overwhelming evidence, even as up to all the way to the 1930s, that people knew our true cosmology, knew we lived on a flat plane realm, an enclosed system with a dome above us, okay? Even the ancients knew this. We know it's been covering up. Sometimes in the 1950s, they reversed reality, they reversed cosmologies from a geocentric universe to a heliocentric universe. These witches, these astronomers, scientists have been painting a false reality for a very long time, for their own sick pleasures and for their own controls. These Jesuits, these witches that practice these pseudoscience, fake magic, and creating illusions for a very long time on humanity. These criminals have been presenting a false reality just to keep the illusion of space, of astronomy. Yes, are there stars? Absolutely, but I don't think it's that many of them. Yes, you can see what I'm going to show you of the old star maps, and now what I'm saying is that they're using the sky dome as a backdrop to project images onto it, to make us see things that are there but not real, it's not reality, it's not real. We can see these things like the ISS and these different stars and these different planets and these different anomalies and these comets and meteors, but they're not really there, okay? They're projected onto this big screen, and this big screen is the sky dome, is the sky, okay? So when nighttime comes, even probably during the day, they're doing this as well. They have the technology, some Japanese company have this technology where they can project these images into the sky, and for you to be able to see things that are there but not reality. You may think they're real there, but they're not there. And this is why I think this is how they're going to use this as an alien deception and all part of it. That these things, these observatories, these planetariums are not really use what they say they are. They work in sync with each other to project onto this screen. The world's a stage. They've been doing it for a very long time. What if the North Pole, right, is not, no one can't go there, is because that's where the center, the real big one is at, is projecting things onto the sky dome. And you can't go there, right? I mean, think about it. Even the old stories say there's the tower there, right? What if this tower there is just the center, or with, you know, they're hiding what they're projecting on the main big screen. Now, I know this sounds far out. It was far out to me, but you got to keep an open mind. And I think everything should be investigated and thoroughly vetted. And you know what? And if I'm wrong, you know what? So be it. I'm going to come out and I say, you know what? I'm wrong. But this, you know, as doing this research and looking through all of this, it's you can see the deception. You can definitely see the deception of their space nonsense and how they got all kids and all of us. I remember when I was a kid going to a planetarium. I mean, what do you think they get the idea from? The dome, projecting onto the dome, but they're really doing it on a larger scale. Come on, man. We sent a balloon up there. We all seen the images of the balloon going, 100,000 feet? And it's completely, and the sun looks like a spotlight. And it's completely pitch black dark. You don't see no fucking stars up there. You know, and they just keeping the film going, just like someone playing at the movie theaters every day, just putting the film up every day and putting different stuff, comment or different times, okay? Where you could literally take a telescope and look at it and see from a telescope what they're projecting. So of course you're gonna be like, oh, I seen it. Oh, I seen it. Oh, yes, I see it. Of course you see it. We all see it. But what if it's a fucking projection, man? This holographic universe, this technology, we see it. Tupac, remember the whole Tupac? You see the technology, a whale jumping out of an auditorium, out of the floor? That they've been fucking with our reality for a long time. I know I've seen the moon huge as hell one day, just not really thinking of it, but like, wow, that's fucking big. And it's just right there, bang, like, you know. And it's not really questioned, it's not really, I look at it like, wow, that's odd, but keep on going about my business. And people are taking pictures of the moon and these different phases, but it's a projection, okay? I know it sounds crazy, but, you know, people need to look at this shit, man, all right? That's what's all about truth, right? Well, this is what's going on, and it's plausible. I mean, it sounds plausible to me. And I'm sure there's people out there that's far more smarter than I am that could put this together and look at this and use their own discernment and figure out. But their story, it's not cutting it. You see them using these small, using these small telescopes. And then you're like, why do they got these big, gigantic telescopes for? And they can see the same things with these small ones. Well, maybe they're not telescopes. You know, maybe they just shoot light or light frequency, light pattern to create an image in sync with other ones around the world. Okay? You know, you have a couple of these around certain spots in your region, you can project something on the nighttime sky. So you're like, oh, wow, I see things moving around up there. I see things, oh, wow, look at this. Now space has got to be real. Okay? Has to be real. All right, all these things, I see things moving up around there. I see them fucking with our minds big time. You know, they don't care if we know about this. I mean, no fight over flat Earth or globe. They really, I mean, they don't care to an extent. But this is what they're fucking hiding. This is probably why they don't want you to find out everything else. The reality is being projected onto a screen. Yes, there's things that are real, or so that they may feel real, but they're playing with our emotions and our reality. You know, they're making this, Earth that we live on one big planetarium. And people think it's real in nature, but it's not. I mean, you're talking about evil here that's unimaginable. Then again, what these so-called scientists, these astronomers, have been doing. It should be thoroughly investigated. This is maybe another piece to the puzzle. Is there a way out of this place? Are these people not only, is that another big secret they're hiding? They got us stuck here, trapped in and thinking, we all thinking, this is all what it is, this is reality, this is the way it is, and that's it. And these psychopaths, lunatics, are at the helm or driving the fucking bus, leading us right to the end. Got us believing in all kinds of dumb shit. Astronomer's Paradise, the darkest skies in Chile, this ESO observatory, Cerro Paranal. So that's what it's called. And this ESO thing, they have a whole website. We'll get to that later. But let's check out these things. I guess there's like 7 of them over here, or a certain amount of them. And they're just, you see that they're just projecting these lights into the sky. And if you look real closely on the background, you'll see like these stars are just, and these things moving around are just like a projection, like you're watching a big movie theater. Check it out, see for yourself. I want to stop it there for 1 second real quick. I'm going to let it play out. Look at this. Use your mind, okay? Use your own God-given eyes, okay? Yes, I know it looks like it's a whole bunch of stars. Yes, I know it looks like outer space. But what if it's not? What if it's not? What if it's not that many stars? What if it's a projection? What if we're seeing, and we've always been seeing, projections, okay? Let's go. Look at that shit. And you know, you're going outside walking the dog and you're seeing stuff, and you maybe you're on the beach and you're looking outside the sky, and you know, you got so much things going on in your life. You got this, you got the kids, and you're just not really thinking, you just see things. You don't really question this shit, man. Because, you know, why would they lie? Why would they project something that's not there? Why would they want to mess with my reality? Why would they want to lie to me? Why do they want me to perceive in space or have this perception of me living on a spherical spinning ball of water in so-called outer space? Okay? They want me to believe in things that are not there. It's like the Wizard of Oz, man. You know, you check behind the curtain to see who's actually the talking voice. You know, I think certain people know this, and they've been trying to tell us this. And this is the big secret they don't want us to know. You know, what if North Pole, the reason why we really can't go there, not only that they're hiding a lot of shit, but that's where the North Pole is, the middle, as you'll see in this video I'm showing you of where they put it at, and some places at where they're controlling a lot of it in sync with other ones that are around the world. Maybe there is only a handful of stars that's always been in there. But people long time ago, you know, knew about this and started projecting our reality. People way more advanced than us. People knew where the future was going to go. And I think the best way to hide something is in plain sight. You know, you got these small telescopes that can see Why would you have these big, huge ass telescopes? And what if they're not telescopes? What are they're just things to work with projectors to project stuff? Think about it. Then when they show us something on TV or a monitor, that could be anything. You got to look for stars when you program. You got to go through this program or this app to show you where they are. And they show you where it's at. This is not hard. You can easily fix this. You think you're seeing the ISS, you're not. You're seeing the projection. You think you're seeing all these stars, you're not. You're just seeing the stars. You think you're seeing these comets, these meteors, these other moons, these other anomalies. And all you're seeing is projections. These something that someone made and projected. Just another lie in nature. And there's no lie in nature. You know, what if you really can mess with people's psyche by doing this? What if you can alter the way animals or living things behave by these projections? By these perceptions?
Feel like down the street, alright, so we chop it, so we do it.